A recent survey conducted by Highland found that the majority of people in the United States had experienced significant financial hardships ever since the global pandemic of 2020. Now, 63% of them admit that they are living paycheck to paycheck, despite the fact that 53% of them stated that they were not doing so before the outbreak. Additionally, for some people, the cash is depleted before the week is out. When this occurs, it is possible that the temptation to use credit cards to obtain some quick cash in the form of a cash advance can overwhelm you. However, will that be a good idea? The following are some of the reasons why it is preferable to skip having cash in your pocket for a few days rather than using your credit card to obtain a cash advance. Number 1. Credit card cash advances are expensive loans. On the other hand, despite the fact that you go through the identical procedures at the ATM to acquire a credit card advance as you do when you withdraw money from your debit card, the two transactions are completely different from one another. If you use your debit card to withdraw money, the money that you take out is your own money. Due to the fact that it originates from your own checking or savings account, you will not be required to spend any fees in order to make use of it. When you withdraw money from an ATM using your debit card, the only price you might be charged is a little fee for utilizing the ATM itself. On the other hand, when you take money out of your credit card account, you are actually obtaining a loan from the corporation that issued your credit card. To add insult to injury, the loan does not even have favorable terms. It is typically accompanied by a greater annual percentage rate, APR, than what you pay on purchases made with your credit card. Cash advances are the most expensive credit card items from the point of view of interest. There are additional fees associated with cash advances that are calculated as a percentage of the total amount of the loan. This fee can sometimes be as high as 5%. Other fees associated with using an ATM, these fees typically vary from $2 to $5. The truth of the matter is that a cash advance on your credit card is probably going to be one of the most expensive forms of loans you will ever make use of. Number 2. Cash advances start accruing interest right away. You will not be afforded the luxury of a grace period even if you obtain a cash advance. You will begin to accrue interest on your credit card account as soon as the transaction is processed and cleared from your account. You have the option of waiting until the whole billing cycle has passed before paying back the advance in full. Nevertheless, it is in your best interest to pay it back as soon as possible. It is possible to quickly accumulate credit card debt if you take out a cash advance because the interest on the loan is large, instant, and persistent. This might also be a disaster for your efforts to reduce your debt. Number 3. Cash advances and minimum payments don't play well together. It will take a significant amount of effort on your side to get rid of the debt that you accumulate as a consequence of the cash advance withdrawals that you make, particularly if you frequently simply pay the minimum payment that is due on your credit card account. Credit card issuers are generally required by FDIC guidelines to apply payments that are greater than the minimum amount to the account that has the highest annual percentage rate, APR. However, as far as minimum payments are concerned, there are no such rules. Therefore, if you continually pay only the minimum amount on your credit card, you will not be able to pay off your cash advance, and it will continue to accrue interest at the higher rate for a longer period of time. This is because you will not be paying down your cash advance. On the other hand, this will cause you to fall further into debt. It is for this reason that cash advances on credit cards are sometimes referred to as the black hole of lending. Number 4. You cannot withdraw enough cash to solve a serious financial problem. Taking into consideration the drawbacks that have already been highlighted, you would need a particularly compelling cause to withdraw cash from your credit card in order for it to be a step in the right direction. It is quite improbable that such a strong explanation could possibly exist. Why is it possible to say that? The amount of cash that can be withheld from a credit card is normally restricted by the company that issued the card. The majority of the time, the maximum amount of money that can be withdrawn at a time is a few $100s. If you are in a significant financial bind, it is highly unlikely that a few $100s will be sufficient to genuinely assist you, and if you take out a cash advance on your credit card, you will only end up with additional debt. Number 5. Cash advances can quickly send you scrambling for credit card help. Your greatest adversary is your own interest. It accounts for the majority of the costs associated with your debt, and it has the potential to throw a wrench into even the most well-planned financial strategies. The elimination of debt with a high annual percentage rate, APR, as rapidly as feasible is the primary emphasis of effective debt relief for a reason. The worst kind of interest is the one that you get when you get a cash advance on your credit card. That alone ought to be sufficient to persuade you to not engage in it under any circumstances.